I went to Beirut and I went to AUB and I realized that I didn't want to do sciences anymore. I went in my first year and I was going in for medicine, and then I realized it wasn't for me and I changed to the creative field. And I went into graphic design not knowing what graphic design was. It was fairly new. No one knew what it was. Going into that creative field really changed my path and made me realize who I am and where I wanted to go. I started to understand that I love to create and I love to see beautiful things, and it moved me towards the journey I took after that. Living in Beirut, I started to notice my surroundings, and part of those surroundings was the graffiti, and understanding the graffiti and understanding how the society worked by only reading what was on their walls. A society that I was living in as an outsider made me understand its people, and that for me was a very big revelation, to understand what's around me by only looking at my surroundings and understanding my surroundings and looking at the art and the beauty around me of a broken city. And that made me start to appreciate and begin to understand everything else and how everything else would fall into place by visually understanding places rather than having to interact with their people. And it took me towards creating my book, which is Marking Beirut, which talked about understanding societies through the writings on their walls. And doing that opened a lot of doors for me. I lived in Beirut for 8 years. I stayed there. I continued that creative path, did my master's, and came home and decided that Saudi is where I need to be, and it's time for that creativity to come out for Saudiya. We have a lot to offer. It was untapped, and it was being spoken about, but no one was doing anything about it. You had small groups around the country that were moving forward, and it was really encouraging. And it's hard. It was hard to come back and say, okay, I'm بجلس وبفتح مكتب وبدخل في الcreative field. Everyone's like, what's graphic design? What do you do? What's branding? What's this? What's that? صعب إنك تشرحي للناس إيش هذا الشيء، خاصة في السعودية, which was a society where you have the traditional jobs, you have medicine, you have engineering. That was like, you found a pot of gold if you go into that field. There's a very strong creative energy في السعودية because of many factors, and هذا الشيء يشجع إنك أنت تدخلي في هذا المجال، لأنه you have a young generation who is no longer unaware. We are very aware. We are very exposed, regardless of where we live or who we are. And that is the most encouraging thing for me, living in this society. فهذا اللي دفعني إني أدخل في هذا المجال, regardless of whatever the struggles were, they're still worth it. كشعب سعودي احنا ما كنا نعرف كيف نعبر. الحين نعرف كيف نعبر, whether it's through video or film or design or art. We have a very large and strong emerging art scene, but it's not new. It was just put on hold. It was there in the 70s and the 60s and the 70s, and then life happened, and now it's coming back up because there's a lot more encouragement that's coming up. في a young generation that now knows how to talk about who they are and what they want. That generation is pushing it forward. And لما أنا كسعودية عايشة برا وعشت في بيروت, which is a very vibrant city, إني أرجع للسعودية and I still feel that energy. هذا أنا عندي شيء, it's a security. It makes you say, okay, I made the right decision to come home and pursue what I want, because this is the only place where I can be who I am. لو إن شاء الله رحت في أي مكان في العالم أنا ما أقدر أكون الشخصية اللي أنا لازم أكونها ببلدي. We're not talking externally, we're talking internally. We're talking to each other. We're teaching each other how to work together. We're teaching each other how to understand all the different mentalities we have in the country. في a large and a very vast field of mentalities that we have في السعودية, and لما احنا نفهم how to work together with those mentalities, this is where we succeed. And we're learning how to do that through creativity, through art, through all the movements that are happening now for Saudi. We're communicating internally. Whatever's happening in Saudi now isn't happening to be communicated outwards, it's happening to be communicated inwards so that we can learn how to understand each other and learn how to grow as a country and as a very young and vibrant society. There's a generation that's coming now which has the opportunity that our fathers and grandfathers had in the 50s and 60s, when there was a lot of opportunity within the region, where if you didn't go and get it at that time, you will be an employee for the rest of your life. And this is what we realize now. We have to go and get it, and we're communicating with each other, and there's support. And if you don't catch it now, then you might not. You just have to get on that train and keep going. لأنه there's an energy, and it's gonna keep growing. Move your generation with you. Speak to each other, push and inspire each other, and work together. Move me, move you, move everyone around you. Keep it going, keep that energy flowing, and push for whatever it is that you're gonna do. لأنه في المجال مفتوح والبيبان مفتوحة وما في شيء مسكر في وجهنا. Whether we are women or men, all those doors are open. أنا كسعودية في السعودية, I wouldn't imagine myself doing this anywhere else, because this is where it has to be right now. احنا مع بعض نقدر نمشي ونسوي مع بعض. المرأة الخليجية لقت مكانها كان موجود، بس ما كنا عارفين كيف نمشي في هذا الخط. لقينا الخط ولقينا الطريق, and now we know how we can impact society and how much society needs us. The education we have as women في الخليج وفي العالم العربي is as equal to that of men. We are smart, we are ready, and we have a lot to express. And society needs us, and society moves with us. And so if we keep going and learn how to work together and learn how to communicate with each other, then there's nothing that can stop us. مكاننا موجود, ما عمره ما كان موجود, بس الحين عرفنا طريقنا. نحن قادرات, for sure we can do it. We can do it better than anyone else can do it.